My name's Gavin. I'm the third generation owner of this particular business. It's been in the family now for 56 years. We were opened in 1962. My great-great-grandfather came over here for the gold rush in the early 1900s. Great-grandfather and my grandfather, they were working in veggie gardens. So all the Asians, I suppose, back in those days, yeah, they did gold rush for veggie gardens. There was no restaurants or anything like that. So my grandfather packed up shop and moved to Queensland. He met my grandmother. They got married together, which was quite frowned upon, I suppose, in those days, you know, being a mixed race wedding. They somehow got the money together and they came to Canberra. So out of all places, I suppose, it wasn't, I do remember my grandfather saying there was basically no Chinese, no Asians. For him to have the courage to actually come to Canberra and open a restaurant was quite brave, actually. I mean, I don't think I could do it. He became quite an affluent member of the Canberra community back in the days because it was a very small community. He was quite a charitable person. He did a lot of work at the Canberra show, raising funds for kids. There was just not many Asian people at all, so everybody that used to come up from Sydney or migrate over from overseas or come and study here, which was very small minority actually, they would actually stay in his house. Canberra is actually the capital of Australia, so it's where all the decisions are made, the big decisions. It's what people refer to Canberra as the bush capital. So there's a lot of farmland, there's a lot of really nice nature. The origin of the name Happy's came about when my grandfather actually moved to Canberra. His English was very broken. A lot of the times, just smile, laugh, giggle, whatever. Everyone just started calling him Happy. It stuck. It ended up going on his passport as Happy's. He opened his first restaurant, named it Happy's. Chinese cuisine, I suppose, in the early 70s and 80s was very much Cantonese, Hong Kong-based cuisine. That was basically, you know, you could pretty much guess what people were going to have when they walked in, and then they'd have, you know, a VB or a Carlton Draft. So it was two of the popular beers. So it was pretty much a given for a lot of customers that used to come down here. So very set in their ways. They didn't want to try new stuff. 97, Tsingtao beer first came to the market, and we were one of the first people in Canberra to actually stock it.
I've been coming to Happy's now for many years. I first came here in the 1980s. I don't know what beer I would have drunk in those days, whatever was going. But in 1997 they introduced the Tsingtao, and I just loved the way that those two flavours went together. The spiciness of the Szechuan chicken and then the crispy cold but maltiness of the Tsingtao beer just made this wonderful fusion. And so, whilst I sometimes don't eat the Szechuan chicken, I sometimes have other things, I never don't have the Tsingtao beer because it's just so good a compliment.
The feedback that I had from customers and myself was that it was a beer that went down very easily. It was a very nice tasting beer. I personally think that a lot of the customers, if they want a beer, they come to a Chinese restaurant, no matter what they order, they're going to get a Tsingtao. So like 90% of the customers will truly order a Tsingtao beer because they don't even want to think. They just go, right, well, I'm in a Chinese restaurant, I'm going to have a Tsingtao beer. It's unbelievable what my grandfather achieved and the legacy that he left behind. To have it in the family for so many generations, continuously in the same location, is probably the thing that I'm most proud of. Funnily enough, now on Friday nights, my daughters, I've got two young daughters, and one's 10 and one's 7, and they actually come down and look after the bar area, and they handle all the money and the card transactions, and they make most of the non-alcoholic drinks for me. So yeah, no, I suppose hopefully, you know, they take over one day. I don't know if they want to do it or not, but you know, the fourth generation's out and working. It's very important for me and my family is to sort of have that connection with the customers.